Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. We will look into the internal guidance received by the self. By Noor. The spiritual knowledge system is the otherworldly knowledge that every human being brings along with him when the nerves migrates the fetus in the womb of the mother. The nerves being the spiritual self cannot have an active role in the material world. However, it is in the spiritual self, that is in the original being, that the Creator has inscribed the purpose of life, that is his journey on earth. And nerves is thus passively responsible for guiding the actions of the individual. It guides involuntarily, irrespective of whether the guidance is accepted or not accepted by the active physical being. This is internal guidance. The external guidance is from the Qadar that holds one's destiny. Its textual version is revealed as Quran, and before Quran there had been other revelations. It is in the mother tongue of the Holy Prophet on whom the revelation has descended. A person who rejects the guidance will have a predominant material self that is destined to suffer. A person who follows the guidance will have a predominant spiritual self that will receive the reward. Suffering is attached to the material and tranquility to the spiritual. We will look into the internal guidance further. Functionally, man is a pair of beings, the spiritual and the physical. He is so molded as to grow by learning and knowing. He is suitably located in the is suitably located at the juncture where the two systems of knowledge, the external and the internal, meet. He needs to develop his physical knowledge system in synchrony with the spiritual system to be a harmonious total being. The function of the nerves is guidance, in tune with the inscription in the spiritual knowledge system in its qalb. The guidance is involuntary and happens incessantly until the qalb is closed. It is realized by the physical being only when the ego has receded. Initially, the physical system of knowledge is negligibly small in a fragile physical being. The nerves guides along the physical being to build its system of knowledge by relating to the spiritual system using Nur. When the physical memory, it is termed Fuat in Arabic, is sufficiently grown, the ego exerts itself, causing disassociation of the nerves. The spiritual knowledge will be discarded and the Nur will be lost. The individual becomes a divided person who has to rely entirely on his physical self for guidance in the forward living. He loses sight of life's purpose. The external guidance is thus indispensable. The self will be under continuous guidance if its relation with the external guidance is established sufficiently early. Unlike the physical knowledge, one does not need to build or rebuild his spiritual knowledge, which is present hidden in the nerves. It cannot be acquired either by material longing or will. When guided, it is attributed to the nerves from the embedded system. The person is now in Iman. It happens by the submission of the self, one's ego, to the Creator, the one God. He turns humble and patient. An expanded sadr turns towards the nerves. This orientation of the sadr is of utmost importance because even material objects would cause a misdirected expansion, which is a worldly experience, a part of physical knowledge. A misdirected self misunderstands the internal guidance. He becomes restless, running after material objects, one after the other, aimlessly loitering without ever finding peace. The deviation becomes greater and greater until the qalb is closed. The nerves and its guidance are now inaccessible. The punishment is born by the material being, which has grown disproportionately at the cost of the nerves. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best. In the next session we will see Qadr.